Yay Networks.
I'm Molly Kimball. Welcome to Fueled, a wellness and nutrition podcast. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition journalist with a passion to help people live their strongest, healthiest life possible. In my weekly TV segments and columns, there's a limited amount of time and space to cover everything, but there's so much more to share. This podcast is my opportunity to dive deeper into the topics you want to know about. This week's episode of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition is something that I think a lot of y'all are going to be really excited about. It's something I get questions from you about a lot. It is my top picks at Trader Joe's. So this is 15 finds that I love at Trader Joe's that are specifically only at Trader Joe's. So those things that you can't find at any other store. I think that's sort of their MO, is having a few of these key items that we must go in for if we really want them, because we can't find a really close alternative. And so this is my top 15 picks like that, things that I've found that I love flavor-wise, taste-wise, but especially nutritionally. And all 15 of these are under $5. So I've kind of broken it into different categories. We'll talk about snacks, some of my favorite dips, and then vehicles for dipping, some fancy snack-sized cheeses they've got. Then we'll talk about breakfast options, some of the things that are in the produce section, and then what's happening on that freezer aisle that we should put into our carts. So the one area that I am not seeing something that is specifically nutritious and also unique to Trader Joe's is the sweets and treats section. Now there's tons of stuff, of course, that tastes delicious. There's a lot of tempting little like snacky type things. One of my friends says, if you're looking into the produce section where you have to look down, she's like, just don't look up, because at eye level, right above all of the very like noble vegetables there is all of the little snack, really tempting, like sweet, salty, savory, especially sweet snacks, like right there, eye level. I've combed through them. I'm not seeing anything that's catching my eye. If I've missed something, let me know. So we'll be talking about snacks, breakfast, things in the produce section, what's happening in that freezer aisle to throw into our cart. Here are my top 15 finds under $5 at Trader Joe's. So starting with dips, this is this is the category that gets me in there on a regular basis because I love these. There's three that we'll talk about. One is a cauliflower jalapeno dip. The other is an avocado tzatziki dip. And then the spinach and kale Greek yogurt dip. So I want to start with that one. I love it for a whole bunch of reasons. It tastes like something that you would make yourself. It tastes just like really fresh spinach dip. And the very first ingredient is Greek yogurt. So Greek yogurt, next ingredient spinach, followed by water chestnuts and kale. So in spite of that, you may say, well, I don't know if I'm going to really like that or if I'd want to have that out for people. It tastes like a spinach dip that either you would make yourself that tastes really good, or something you would buy in kind of the deli pre-made section of your favorite local grocery store. Highly recommend spinach and kale Greek yogurt dip. And the avocado tzatziki dip is really similar as well. Greek yogurt is that first ingredient, then avocado, then cucumber, lemon juice, jalapeno peppers, garlic, sea salt. So again, if you were to whip this up in your kitchen and make your own, it's all ingredients that we would have on hand and conceivably could make this ourselves. And then my third of the three favorite dips there, this creamy cauliflower jalapeno dip. The first ingredient is cauliflower. So it's cauliflower, cream cheese, ricotta cheese, some Parmesan, jalapeno peppers. It is really creamy, but you would not guess. You can taste the cauliflower in it, but it doesn't taste like you're dipping into just cauliflower puree. It's actually a really nice creamy dip, and I love that cauliflower is the first ingredient. So there's three dips that we talked about: this creamy cauliflower jalapeno dip, the avocado tzatziki dip, and the spinach and kale Greek yogurt dip. By the way, I'll be linking to these in a blog post, so you'll see them all written out as well. In the blog post, I won't be putting the specific links to the products because a lot of times Trader Joe's doesn't have that like available on their site, but I'll at least just put the names so that you'll see exactly what we're talking about there. Then when we're talking about what to dip, there are some fantastic chips at Trader Joe's. There's nothing though that is specifically really nutritious and also something we can only get at Trader Joe's. But Trader Joe's does have jicama sticks. So jicama, if you're not familiar with it, it is a It's a vegetable. It's got a texture sort of like an apple, but it's not sweet at all like an apple. So it's the texture sort of like an apple or a water chestnut, but it's really neutral. It's not sweet at all. And it's really close to 0 calories. It's like nothing as far as carbs or calorie goes. Now, I have seen jicama sticks at places like Whole Foods and other stores, but they're not very common to see in most grocery stores. So jicama sticks at Trader Joe's is something that I pick up whenever I see them. You could buy the jicama root and cut it yourself, but it's a lot easier to buy them already cut into these sticks. The skin is pretty tough, so to peel back the skin, to cut them into sticks, it's a little bit labor intensive, and you would have a lot of waste as far as the scraps left over. So buying jicama sticks is something that I like to keep these on hand to have with those dips. Still in the snack category is cheeses. We always like to keep good cheese on hand, like I'm air quoting, like the fancy cheeses that you keep for like when people come over. So we may have something like a good brie or a good blue cheese. There's one called Delice. I don't know how you say the second word of it. It's a French word, but it's Delice, and the second word starts with a B. They used to have it at Costco, actually. It's imported from France, and we loved that it was at Costco because the price point, of course, was great. I do see it at Whole Foods, so that's one that we'll keep, or we'll keep Bries, or we'll keep a good, strong blue cheese. The problem with that, though, is you're only having it like when you have people over, because you're not usually going to put that out for like maybe a 3 o'clock snack for yourself, or you're not going to have it just as kind of your like go-to Tuesday snack with like your piece of fruit. So I love that Trader Joe's always has a variety of at least one type of a really good cheese that's in like a little single serve pack. So currently what they have is these little mini brie bites, and they're like little wheels of brie, but they're basically like a little 1 ounce wheel of brie, individually wrapped, snack size. If I'm looking at the calories on it, each one's just a little 70 calories. So it's the real thing. It's not lightened up or anything like that, but it's just in these tiny little baby wheels that are really good quality cheese. So brie is what they have now. I've seen different types of cheeses there, depending on, they kind of vary sometimes what they have. I'll also say that. So as I'm talking through the things they have right now, I'm recording this podcast in May of 2021. So who knows by the end of the year, these are things that I've consistently seen for a while. They haven't really rotated in and out too much. But always, we know that's the case with Trader Joe's, that sometimes things aren't always continued there. So anyway, small snack size fancy cheeses is one of the things that is on my list. And they're usually, I've never seen them over $5. What's currently there is a little pack of these brie cheeses. It's like 5 little cheeses for just over $4. So moving on to breakfast, there's been an explosion of better for you pancake and waffle mixes in stores. There's all types that are grain-free, gluten-free, zero sugar. There's keto, paleo, low carb, high protein. Trader Joe's now has their own version of a protein pancake mix. So it is made with 100% whole grain flour. And so they use, instead of whole wheat flour that might be kind of a grainy feel, they actually use white whole wheat flour. So it doesn't have, it's not so wheaty. It's a little bit more of the texture that you might want from a pancake, not so much of a grainy pancake. So it's a blend of white whole wheat flour and whole wheat flour, but they add in different types of protein isolates. It also has some oat flour in there. So a serving of these pancakes has 10 grams of protein, 3 grams of fiber. So if you're looking for something that is gluten-free, grain-free, this isn't it. But the flours in here are all whole grain flours. There's no enriched processed white flours in here. And then they have that added boost of protein. The texture is going to feel really familiar. It's going to feel just like a really typical pancake, or if you made them into waffles, but it'll be the same texture that you would expect of pancakes, the same texture, flavor, again, giving you just that added boost of 10 grams of protein, which is about what you would get in like 1.5 eggs. So there's not a ton at Trader Joe's in the breakfast category, but one other product that I do like is Puffins. Now, Puffins isn't unique. I was saying these products are all unique to Trader Joe's. This is the one exception that I do see this at other stores. It's just not really common to see it at other stores. So there's different types of Puffins, but the original Puffins, the brand is Barbara's. So Barbara's Original Puffins is a cereal that I like, especially it can be a really nice cereal for kids. It's sort of like a Captain Crunch type of a cereal. If someone tries it, that's the first comparison that they give. So it tastes and has the texture that's really appealing to kids. It's familiar if someone's had something like Captain Crunch, but the ingredients are just really simple. So it does have whole corn, whole oats, also has oat fiber. It's sweetened with cane sugar. It's sweetened with some molasses. So the stats on it, it's 6 grams fiber, also 6 grams sugar. It's only about 3 grams protein. So it's a decent cereal. It's especially a cereal that if you are struggling, especially with kids, trying to encourage something that's a little bit more whole grain, natural, and lower in sugar, something like Puffins can be a good alternative. Let's take a minute to talk about Billy, sponsor of this week's podcast episode and an Allure Best of Beauty winner. Self-care and routine are more important than ever, so whatever you're using to get ready for the day should also make you feel amazing. Billy has recreated everyday essentials by delivering premium razors and high-performing body care directly to you. Go to mybilly.com to get their starter kit for just $9. That includes their award-winning razor, 2 refill blades, and a cult favorite magnetic holder. I love Billy's products, and you will too. They leave our skin feeling so soft. And to express a little love for our show, go to mybilly.com/fueled. It's a small way that you can support us while also getting the best razor you will ever own. It's just $9 to get your starter kit, plus free shipping always. Go to mybilly.com/fueled. That's spelled my BILLIE.com/fueled. Moving into the produce section, there's a good bit of things that are in the produce section besides just produce. Of course, all the produce in the produce section gets a thumbs up, but what we're looking at here is what's specific and unique to Trader Joe's that is driving us into Trader Joe's. And obviously, we can get fresh produce anywhere. But also in that produce section, there's all kinds of interesting things that catch my eye and are part of the reason I'm going back into Trader Joe's. They have a really good selection of salad dressings, and these are all the Trader Joe's brand. And there's 5 different salad dressings. So one is spicy cashew butter, one is a green goddess dressing, another is a carrot ginger miso, there's a vegan Caesar, and usually, I didn't see it this last time I was in there, but usually there's an almond butter turmeric dressing that is hands down my favorite. All of these are moderate in calories, moderate in sodium, really super clean, streamlined ingredient list. They're in the refrigerated section. Again, they're in that produce section, but if you're looking for something that's creamy, that vegan Caesar. If you're looking for something that is maybe a light, kind of a fresh feel, that carrot ginger miso. The spicy cashew butter is really good for a creamy, rich, bold flavor. Also that almond butter turmeric I was telling you about. And then that green goddess salad dressing. It's amazing. It's just a blend of avocado pureed with all types of herbs, some lemon juice. Again, just that super fresh, clean ingredient list. So salad dressings, we know that they can be high in sodium. They're one of those like really sneaky stealth sources of sodium, also added sugars. And we don't expect it in a lot of salad dressings, but they're packed with it. So these are 5 alternatives that are moderate to low in all of those super clean label when it comes to ingredients. So right next to them in the produce section, I mentioned the jicama sticks earlier. They also have jicama wraps. So imagine like a little taco-sized corn tortilla, except it's really thinly sliced jicama that is very pliable. You can wrap it, you can fold it, and it is an incredible way to make low-carb tacos. So you could do lunch wraps with it, you could do tacos with it, anything that you would normally put into a typical wrap, you can put into these jicama wraps. So again, they're in the produce section. They're already sliced for us, and it's these great little thin slices of jicama that basically stand in as a soft taco wrap. And on a similar note, there's cauliflower thins right next to them in the produce section at Trader Joe's. If you've ever seen in a grocery store like Whole Foods, there's a brand called Outer Aisle. Outer Aisle has these great cauliflower thins. They're same thing. They're like a little taco shell size, like a soft taco size, small little rounds. But these cauliflower thins are super streamlined ingredients, also really low carb. They're basically just cauliflower, eggs, Parmesan cheese. So the outer aisle, it's really similar. They look similar. The ingredients are similar. The taste, texture. I think my guess is they are made by Outer Aisles and private labeled as Trader Joe's. That's just my suspicion. I don't know that, but I have a strong feeling that Outer Aisles, which makes a really fabulous product that you can find at stores like Whole Foods, has made these for Trader Joe's. So the jicama wraps is one, the thinly sliced jicama wraps, or the cauliflower thins. These are both these little soft taco size wraps that are completely natural, veggie heavy, low carb, low calorie. So also in the produce section, and also, by the way, Trader Joe's, at least at our store here in the New Orleans area, they've recently changed it a bit so that right when you walk in, you walk through the flowers, and then right to your right in the produce area, they have some of these things that I'm talking about that are sort of the grab and goes. That's where I'm finding the jicama sticks, also the cauliflower thins or the jicama, the sliced jicama. They have some of the dips and things there as well. And then right there also, they have roasted broccoli, roasted cauliflower. So you'll see it with like a little cardboard sleeve, but it's basically cauliflower or broccoli. It's already been roasted with just olive oil, sea salt, and pepper. Really, really simple. And it's not in the freezer section. It's refrigerated. It's in a little vacuum seal bag with that little cauliflower sleeve over it. So you can basically just heat it up in a skillet. It's already done for you. You could microwave it as well, but I like doing it in a skillet. So you still get a little bit of that, a little bit of the texture, the kind of roasted texture. You're enhancing it, I feel, with a skillet versus a microwave. So these roasted broccoli, roasted cauliflower, they're super simple just to heat and serve. So the last of our finds that's in this category in the produce section is the protein patties. And they have a section that is the Impossible. They actually have the Impossible brand. But then, of course, for less dollars, they have the Trader Joe's version of protein patties. They have one that is used to kind of mimic a beef-based burger and one that has a color and texture of a turkey burger. So these are protein patties. They are plant-based. They are vegan, and they are giving us the alternative to something. They're basically like the Trader Joe's version of an Impossible Burger or a Beyond Burger. And then finally, the freezer section. So there's actually 3 types of vegetables in the freezer section at Trader Joe's that I find they're unusual. They're different. They have the usuals. They have spiralized zucchini. They have rice cauliflower. They have all that kind of stuff. But there's a few that are only found at Trader Joe's. So the first of these 3 is actually a product of Italy. So it is made in Italy, imported to us, and it has the quality that you would expect if being from Italy. So it is marinated grilled eggplant, zucchini, and red peppers. So to me, it tastes like something that we would get at a restaurant. So a lot of times in the freezer section, if we're getting our vegetables frozen, we're heating them up, they're okay. And it's better than not getting any vegetables, but the quality of them just isn't fantastic. But they're marinated, they're grilled, and it's those 3 vegetables: eggplant, zucchini, red peppers. And the ingredients beyond that are super simple: extra virgin olive oil, balsamic vinegar, some herbs, some spices. Really, really simple. The next is cauliflower gnocchi. So if you haven't had it and you like gnocchi, you've got to try this. If you're not familiar with what gnocchi is it's a potato-based pasta, but it's sort of these little nuggets, and they're doughy, they're chewy. A lot of times a gnocchi dish at a restaurant is going to be tossed with a really rich cream sauce, maybe truffle oil, Parmesan. So gnocchi dishes tend to be pretty heavy, pretty rich. And gnocchi, again, many people are still learning about gnocchi. So if you're not familiar with it yet, it's spelled Gnoccchi. So if you're looking for it, that'll kind of help you know what to look for. Gnocchi, it's got the silent G, so it's Gnoccchi. But gnocchi, so it is this little kind of, it's usually potato based. It's these little nuggets, for lack of a better word. That's not how a chef would describe it, I know. But they're in these little chunks and they're doughy little ovals. I'm describing it really poorly, but again, rich, usually tossed with a really rich sauce. It is one of those things that is delicious, but there's nothing nutritious about it. So this cauliflower gnocchi, it's a blend of cauliflower, cassava flour, still has some potato starch in there. So cassava flour and potato starch keeps it gluten-free. They are still just starches. They're not great nutritionally, neither cassava flour and potato starch. But the fact that there's more cauliflower than either of those two flours is ideal. So it's cauliflower, these two grain-free flours, and then extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of sea salt. And so the carbs in these is a lot lower than typical gnocchi. So it's frozen. You can just heat it up in your skillet, saute it, and then add a little bit of olive oil, whatever your seasoning is, or sauce, and it's fantastic. And we've got one more. This is also what gets me into Trader Joe's. So if I run out of this, I will make a special stop just to pick it up. I really, really love it. So it's Trader Joe's Palak Paneer. So it's a bit of a creamy type of a dish. It's spinach. It is the paneer cheese, a little bit of oil, broccoli, a little bit of cream in it, and then a lot of herbs and spices. So nutritionally, I would say if I didn't know how delicious it is, I may not recommend it nutritionally. So usually we'll do about half a container. Half the container is about 200 calories of this Palak paneer. It's about 500 milligrams sodium. So if you are watching your sodium, I will say it's higher in sodium. But if you love Indian food, this can kind of help to curb those cravings in between when you're actually getting Indian for dinner. We have this Palak paneer will be a side dish for whatever type of a lean protein we do. So at night, we might do just a piece of grilled fish, and then having something like this Palak paneer just kind of like makes it interesting. It jazzes it up. Actually, any of these three vegetables we talked about, that Italian grilled eggplant and zucchini blend, or the cauliflower gnocchi, or this Palak paneer. These, as far as frozen side dish goes, make it really easy. It's something to have in a pinch. So a lot of times we prefer to do fresh, but we don't always have fresh on hand, or we haven't had time to get to the store. So having these in our freezer can be a really incredible backup. So that's a lot. We've got our top 15 finds under $5, whether you're looking for snacks, breakfast, different types of salad dressing, healthier wraps, or these freezer finds for quick weeknight side dishes. All 15 of these finds are under $5. I will link to, in the show notes of this episode, I'll link to a blog post where I will cover all of these, and I'll have the name of them and a little brief description about each. So if you've heard it, you weren't sure what the name was or what you would actually be looking for when you're in the store, just check out that blog post. I'll have them all listed there for you. Of course, Trader Joe's rotates their items. So these are all things that have been there for a while. Fingers crossed they don't leave. Fingers crossed they stay there for a while. But always, if you go in, you may not find one of these. Or even better, you might see other products that are there. So if there's something that I missed that is your absolute favorite and you're like, Molly, this is delicious, it's nutritious, you should talk about it, we can always do another episode of this because there will be more items showing up in Trader Joe's stores. If there's anything that I've overlooked that you absolutely love, let me know. You can message me on social, you can email me. And again, I will have the link to these in the show notes of this episode. I am registered dietitian Molly Kimball, and you've been listening to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, the podcast. If you would like more Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, please head over to mollykimball.com, and you can follow me, Molly Kimball RD, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you haven't yet, please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Join us next week for another dose of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition. Thanks for listening, and stay focused on living your strongest, healthiest life.